All right, everyone, we're back. We're going to be evaluating Dao Union today. I'm Philip. My host is Kieran. Now, Kieran, this is your main army. How have you been feeling about Dao over the past editions?
Uh Look, I mentioned it in the other video, but to be honest, uh, they never really felt quite strong in comparison, um, to maybe when I played Battle Brothers or up against HDF Alien Swarm, some of the other people in our group. It's just a little bit underwhelming. They have a bit of a sort of drawback in that they've got this really solid shooting focus. So they fall apart way too quick in melee, and they don't have a lot of the sort of unit roles that at least in our meta we see a lot, like the combat walker equivalent, um, the like aggressive sort of melee scouts or short range scouts. I mean, you've got the spotters, but they're sort of a weird middle ground. You spend a bunch of extra for extra range for a unit that you're scouting up the board that is also lower defense. It's just kind of they're still fun. I love playing them, and playing sort of where you have to try and come up with solutions, solve the puzzle of your opponent's army is the best way to enjoy it in my experience. So having the challenge of it has been good for me, but for anyone new coming into it, they're a little bit, yeah, a little bit probably like C D tier maybe.
For someone who's versed them a lot, the
Mm.
the features of Dao seem to be that they have efficient shooting because their previous common rule was this good shot one, which means their quality is low, but they shoot pretty well and cost effectively. But that also vice versa means that once they start taking morale checks, they do tend to fall apart pretty quick because they have to make these quality fives, which is not fun. Um, so we'll
Well,
see
that's
what the
gone well.
we'll see what the new edition has brought. Now, in terms of the new rules that have come in for 3.5, so we'll just go through. I think there's two. The main one is the targeting visor one. What do you think about this? Enemies 9 inches plus one to
That's
hit.
the army wide.
Yeah, well, you've also got your
Yeah,
mark
I
as
mean,
well.
look, there's no real complaint about the army wide rule. Being able to hit more is straight up a buff to an army that only shoots. There's no real downside to it. The 9 inch bubble means it nerfs what doesn't really nerf, but it doesn't benefit sort of shotguns as much because you might struggle with that just 3 inch
But it still kind of
firing
does.
range. And
Like shotguns, because with your
yeah,
negative to charge thing, you still kind of want to be at 10 inches with your shotguns, and you still get the benefit.
yeah, no, well, that's what I mean is that it's still better,
Hmm.
but the fact that that rule is in there and then it makes them more difficult to play optimally than before. I don't think it necessarily makes them worse, but it sort of lifts the other options up, in comparison.
This is pretty scary
There
for
are
me.
yeah,
This is very efficient
yeah,
shooting we're talking about now, especially with good shot and now targeting visor. It's like a straight +2 to hit. That's nice.
yeah.
That's going to
And
be pretty
on
fearsome.
on your sort of non-shotgun, like literally any other unit in the game, it's a huge uh, buff, and you have a lot of range on your weapons across Dao, so that 9 inch doesn't really mean much to you. It's just that shotguns where it feels a little bit, but there's a way around that, so um, it's not really a downside.
And you've got another.
Should we?
Everyone has got a
Yeah,
additional sort of rule where
no,
they
it's
start putting
it's there. It's down the
marks.
bottom.
Oh, they got it here. Piercing.
Piercing. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But here it is.
Down.
Piercing.
There you go.
Yeah, yeah. So this is also straight up pretty nasty as well. I mean, it's very costly for these guys,
Mhm.
less for others, but +1 AP for the whole unit.
Yeah. Yep. 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 You can sort of see uh the combo that you're getting here. You've got AP1 across the board on your infantry. You've got a lot of rending in a lot of places, but I think
And
definitely that AP1 is the niche where getting that +1 puts it to AP2, and now it can threaten a lot more.
And
Even
different to your marker
vehicles.
lights, your precision spotter equivalent, the spotting lasers, where you have to roll. There's no roll here. You just get it. +1 AP.
Yep. And precision spotters on that topic. 6-inch extra range on it, and 10
10
points
points
cheaper
cheaper. 10
per
points cheaper. And
laser.
they did feel, I didn't feel like they were worth 25 points before. So I think putting them
No.
down to 15 points, I think this is about where they should be. And yeah, these are going to be a really nice pick, in my opinion.
Yeah, 100%. I'd agree with that. Look, I was taking them before just because with certain units you really want to get that guaranteed hit, like the railgun. You really want to get that landing. So, but you end up spending before like 100 points on lasers all around just to sort of guarantee that 2-up to hit. Um, where well, it's not even guaranteed because it's random, but it wasn't hugely worth it, except in those niche cases where it's sort of like, well, I really want this to hit, and I'm going to be very sad if it doesn't, so I got to do it. But with this price change, definitely, um, I'm excited to try out more of them.
And with the baseline now being a 3-up to hit, in combination with a targeting visor and good shot for most things, now you just need one of these spotting lasers to go through, which could even be on the same activation for the unit, and it does go to 2-up. So
Yeah,
it's a 50 or sometimes 75% chance to get a 2-up, and it's 15 or 30 points. That's really,
yeah.
really
I think
good.
that's why it's cheaper because the army shoots better anyway. The marginal increases the number of extra hits that is granted by the +1 is lower, going from 3 to 2 than 4 to 3.
All right, so those are the general army rules. They're starting off pretty darn strong, in my opinion. So let's have a look
Yeah,
at the
yeah.
units. So you've got some new upgrades.
Yeah. So this is a nice change that's applied to the Dao heroes. That's the other thing that was a bit of a drawback before is they felt like pointless taking the heroes because they didn't get really buff units they were in, other than maybe one relentless buff. And this battle suit elite didn't have any aura buffs at all before, so it just sort of felt like a weird single battle suit unit. But I mean, it's still fun to use, but it it definitely feels like heroes in OPR are about the buffs, first and foremost.
Especially
And
now.
these are some fun buffs. These are some fun buffs.
Yeah.
Storm Leader, the hit and run shooter.
So
I
this
love it.
one, yeah, you may move 3 inches after shooting for an army that likes to shoot and not get charged. And it's so
Mhm,
cheap,
mhm.
10 points. Put that on the Grunt Leader guy. Oh no,
You
it's on
can't.
this guy. It's only on the battle
Yeah.
suit.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's actually, so is this this is move, shoot, move again, right?
Yep.
This is bringing it
Yep.
back from the old school 5th
Yep.
edition.
5th edition Tau, my beloved. This is the bread and butter of what I play when I first played Tau. This is what I missed as it went away there. I guess the Eldar got it for a bit,
So with
and I
this, you
was
want
able
to
to.
play around obscuring terrain to move into
Oh
the
yeah,
terrain and move out of the terrain, and then you can't be hit with anything except indirect shooting, which is a very
yep.
nice trick.
That's option one. Just not be shot. Yep, huge. Option two is using it to manipulate ranges. Your opponent charges 12-inch. You've say a combat walker. You run up to him with your melters, your fusion blasters. 12-inch range. Bang, 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 and then you can jump back. He won't be able to charge you. Um,
Yeah, that doesn't
the
sound fun.
utility of that is wicked. It's um, it's
And
good.
movement in general, just any movement is strong because it's an objective game, so you need to move around. So just even moving towards objectives with
True.
these while taking shots is an extra 3 inch out of your 6 inch. You're moving 50% faster.
Yeah. Uh,
Yeah, that's a great ability, and 10 points is a steal. Um, yeah.
it is.
So
It is.
targeting boost. So this is interesting to me. So I'll sort of give my
This is.
opinion, and then I want to get your opinion
Yeah. Yeah.
because
Yeah.
so for my HDF ones, it was an auto pick to get the hold the line boost because it was a straight +2 to morale. This one doesn't give an extra +2 to hit. It just removes the qualifier of being 9 inches away. I don't know if that's as worth it. What do you think?
I would never take this.
Yeah.
Um, e-
Okay.
except in one circumstance, which, as I mentioned before, is the shotgun grunts. If I'm gonna run shotguns. I understand that there's like a 3-inch bend there that you can sort of slip in, still be in range, and still get the buff. And if you're in that, it's cool. Just those models don't get the +1, but I'd rather just have it and not have to think about it. So that's the one circumstance where I'd use the targeting visor. Everything else, no.
The shotgun
Waste of
grunts are
points.
often
And
competing with an objective too, so they may need to be within 2 inches of something just to
exactly,
snap something up.
exactly. So it's too useful on them not to have. On anyone else, I would just never. Even if your opponent tries pretty hard to keep you close to them, which might be the way to counter the new targeting visor, almost definitely. It felt like that was the way they counter your army anyway. And you have such a limit on heroes. Using a hero and that aura just for that effect just doesn't feel worth it. I'd rather the hit and run. I'd rather any of the other options. There's a fortify. I will get to that on the Grunt Leader. There's
Yeah.
Relentless here. New Relentless is cracked.
So
It's
yeah,
very usable now.
yeah, Relentless is just straight up pretty much a +1 to hit, and you're already 3 up to hit, maybe 2 up to hit. So this is starting to get in crazy land versus the amount of shots you're putting through.
Yeah, those like one-shot rifle grunts that were never really that good, in my opinion, really benefit from all this extra accuracy because you're actually going to get the hits.
And now you can
So
move.
having less
You're not
shots
stuck
doesn't
to the
bother you
floor
as
like the
much.
previous Relentless.
Yeah, that too. That was a big drawback running that because that was the only aura buff you had before, and Relentless was stationary.
Now this is the most expensive upgrade. Big Game Hunter, Range Slayer Aura.
I love it.
Yeah, so I had a look at this and I immediately thought of a 10-man stack of security grunts with shotguns. And
Oh yeah,
that is so much damage. Wow. This is crazy. Um,
it's
this
scary. It
yeah,
is.
so this turns a unit that is good against any infantry and okay to not great against vehicles to good against any infantry and slays vehicles. Like it's yeah, I'm very interested to see what this does, but yeah, what do you think?
I mean, it's not much more you can really say about. Look, on all your infantry, that's AP3 against tough 3 and higher. So tanks, or anything that's generally relying on that toughness for health, AP3.
AP3 is a
Already
great
excellent.
AP, by the way. It's a very,
Mm.
very good AP to have shooting into things with mass shots.
It's very ideal. But on top of that, you throw in the mark on the unit that you're targeting from some other source. You've got
Oh
some
no.
markiplier, and you
AP4.
multiply it with this AP4. You've got a whole squad full of plasmas. You've got plasma shotguns in your case. I mean, just think of the value in that. It's just
23 plasma shots
here's
hitting on
my
threes.
transport. We can make him hit on twos. We can get there.
True.
Um,
Oh my
not
goodness.
too hard.
And it could
That'll
even be the
pick up
same
any
unit
tank.
too, because the same guy can do he can do a spotter drone. You can have spotter drones in the actual units themselves. Yeah, wow. These are incredible buffs in my opinion. There's some of them are expensive. 50 points is not cheap, but this is very worth it in my opinion.
Mm. It did feel before that the grunts were really one of the highlights. Now, I mean, not including the drones, which were obviously a highlight, but I never really ran them because I don't like fielding a full drone army. But um, this feels like this particular unit, like grunts, is hugely buffed by it. But we're talking about Battle Suit Elite now, I guess.
Yeah, let's go through
Um,
him. So
I like the weapon changes.
yep. So go through him. What's your favorites right now?
So before he got the 2 suit bursts and the 2 flamers to start with, you could swap out the flamers for other weapons. Those 2 suit bursts were set, so you always had sort of 2 dinky shots and then 2 actual weapons you cared about.
Yep.
Now, you can still end up with dinky shots there. So if you replace any weapon, you end up with those dinky shots still on the side, like the melter, the frag, the ion. The distinction for me is the melee option, where you swap out to the plasma sword and energy shield. So you get your 2-up save, you get your attacks and melee. This is the only melee unit I'd consider in the game, other than the Tide, really, that I used a fair bit. And it gets that rapid super, so it gets 2 of them. So now it's a 4-shot at range, so it's not nothing. And,
You can
as you're
change
pointing
out.
out there, can be swapped out for actual guns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now he can have he can have plasma sword attacks, bashes, and 4 plasmas or 4 missiles on top. And that's a lot
and
of output.
225 points for that.
He's not that much. He's not that much, and he's on a 2-up
No.
2-up defense because he's got shielded and he's defense 3 base.
Defense, 3-up to hit, tough 6. That's a scary unit.
And he's not like
cost especially.
And he can. So this is just on its own. That's good.
Options.
But then he's got a lot of supporting options thrown in as well. He can have the drone for spotting. He could have more. He could have a drone for more shooting. And then he's got all these auras, which are all great. This is really good. Is he cheap? He looks cheaper. Yeah, he's cheaper as well. Yeah. So this turned something that was, in my opinion, like he was okay, but he wasn't like a standout because he didn't have a lot of these upgrades. Now he's this is a mainstay kind of unit right now. This is something you want to bring, and you could form a terrifying bomb around this guy of a unit if you wanted to. And
because he's got such a complete profile all on his own as a hero, and he's already scary, and at 225 points, greatly priced. The fact that then he also could do auras if he wanted to a unit, and have that unit, follow him around. That's just, I'm really excited about the new Battlesuit Elite. I will say, the hero changes I think have been the most exciting. Particularly the Battlesuit Elite. I'm really happy with that. I love the sort of mecha army. That's why I got into Tau back in 5th.
And like you mentioned before, this is a good source of some kind of picket melee for your army, which is important to be able to have something that can run intercept, something that can punish a fatigued unit. Something like that is very important in an army. So the fact that you can have that, and he's got non-trivial melee, he's got a 2-up defense, he's got tough 6, he's not easy to kill, and he's not super expensive, and he's reasonably choppy. That's great. Yeah, they really did well with this unit.
Really happy with those changes.
Now we got Grunt Leader. He's cheaper, right? Again, 25 points. That seems he's cheaper. He was 35 or something.
So yeah. If I can point out the nerf to the Grunt Leader that comes with him being cheaper, which is really it's going to come into the new real big weakness of Dao, which is morale. He's quality 5. The old, so he goes in a squad of grunts, no increase.
He doesn't buff their morale.
Doesn't buff their morale, exactly. So he doesn't, in his buffs, he doesn't have anything to do with morale either.
There's one thing. There's one thing that the caster can give fearless.
Yes,
and that's a huge thing. We'll talk about that later.
Caster to give fearless. It is, and I do like the caster. I liked the caster before as well. But the fact that you don't even have that base quality 4-up on the unit, that's like
it
feels quintessential across, and yeah, it does hurt. I mean, I don't really want to run Battlesuit Elites leading grunts, because that will hurt my soul. And yeah, you of course in that case you waste the flying rule. But yeah, that's that particular one thing is a nerf. It did bring a cheaper price tag. You're right, and the big buff, which is that it has auras now.
Yeah, let's check him out. So he's got Fortified. That's his first one for 10 points. So -1 AP for any shots coming into his unit. So it's not +1 defense, but it's a pseudo +1 defense. So this combination with some of the other units that a new unit that Dao has got this edition, you can make some tanky infantry units now.
Oh yeah. Your baseline units were always 4-up historically. In terms of making them tankier, your option was stealth. Now you can give them this -1 to AP. If you go down as well, he has another upgrade.
Shielded.
There it is. Shielded.
You need this if
So,
he's running in the security grunts, because they all have to have it.
yeah, but it's a dirt cheap upgrade on him and on the grunts that isn't instead of anything else. And with fortified, you're looking at a 3-up save and ignoring 1 AP. That is a tanky unit for
Means in cover they're 2-up even against AP one shots. Yeah, pushing the front.
Maybe shotguns with the DPS increasing auras and rifles at the back with the fortified to just never get moved.
Yeah. Okay, so he's got the same targeting visor boost. Now, he, unlike the Battlesuit Elite, has caster options, so we'll go through their spells. So, the first one, I think is going to be critical. Pick one unit within 12 inches to get Fearless next time it would apply. What do you think?
Yeah, honestly, the morale situation has been sort of the opposite of HDF's. It got worse and doesn't feel like there's a lot of ways to make it better, especially with that Grunt Leader quality change. It feels like it's kind of going to be essential, or you're just going to have to rely on not losing any models. But wouldn't that be the dream for all of us anyway?
Yeah, good luck with that. They
Although
have...
Psychos across the board have lost a lot of their sort of damaging abilities.
I was just about to say, everyone's lost output in terms of damage, but you got some good damage here, interestingly.
Except us.
Yeah,
Actually,
you guys have actually got good damage.
Yeah. So going along the next powers, 2 hits, AP1 on 1 enemy model. It's
fine.
It's
just
fine.
Cause a morale check. Or
yeah,
contribute to a melee.
Keep that caster point. Maybe use it if you're just trying to take out. It'd be good to take out like a medic in a squad. Note that it's model. 2 hits AP1. Take out that medic on your guard squad. Laugh because that's all before combat. Yeah. Fun.
I didn't. Okay. Yeah, I didn't spot that. That's incredibly cheeky.
Mini sniper kind of.
Okay.
Yeah, and for 1 point too. Psychic stabilization. Look, if every like we said before, everyone's got one of these spells.
I don't know if I'd pay 2 points for this one.
No. I wouldn't pay 5 points when building in the list to get visor boost. So
Deadly Surge. Pick one enemy unit that gets 6 hits with Bane. This is pretty good.
Short range, but it's good.
So this is against certain units. So HDF infantry or orcs with regen, zombies, stuff like that, they're going to hate getting hit with this because they don't have any defense. So rerolling our 6s sucks, and our regen is our main protection, and that goes away. So that's going to be good.
One big problem with Deadly Surge.
What's that?
6 inches on a Grunt Leader means if he's in a squad of boys, which, in most cases he will be, those boys have to be close enough that they no longer get targeting visor.
Yep.
Which could mean you charged, which you're insane. Probably don't do that. Actually, there is one option for doing that I'll get to. But that 6-inch range and its interaction with targeting visor, the fact that this is on the Grunt Leader, so you can't get that targeting visor boost aura.
So, considering the fact that, like you mentioned before, he's not giving a buff to the quality of the unit for being in it, if it's an ethereal caster, it's tempting to just run him on his own for that reason. Don't even put him in a squad.
That's what I was going to get to. The 6 hits with Bane is excellent. 6-inch range, good after a charge. He's got this weapon, I think it's called a halberd. It's 3 attacks at AP4.
Holy Dual Spear.
Yeah. Holy Dual Spear, yeah. I used him just with this loadout, basically, in the last edition, and it did a lot of good support with its spells before. And when you consider that Deadly Surge and then charging with that A3, AP4, anything that's not like a dedicated melee unit and will wipe out this Grunt Leader, it's going to win combat against.
And it's not many points. 75 points is
It's not many
nothing.
points. And every other turn, it's doing something to support, ideally.
Yeah, just spreading
Yeah,
out
like
Aura of Peace.
yeah, or Aura of Peace turn 1, save the extra point. Turn 2, coordinated aggression, which is the next spell. Worth considering too.
So pick 3 enemy units within 18 inches, which friendly units get AP 1 against when shooting. Oh my goodness. Okay, and this stacks
Yep.
with the other one,
Oh yes, it
the
does.
mark. So that's +2 AP. Whoa.
AP
Okay,
3
and it's
standard infantry
3 enemy
weapons.
units.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. This is
That,
this is.
that's
I'm just going through my brain in terms of the possibilities. Oh god. All right. That's
now
very good.
look, it's a 50% chance. Earliest time is turn 2, unless you're trying to stack up multiple casters to focus on getting this cast, which you could do if you wanted. Obviously, there's a cost in that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's worth it just for the fear that it promotes. I mean, just hearing you talk about it
Just
makes me
stacking
excited
this
to
on
run it.
vehicles, yeah. So just putting these on vehicles is a very
Mm,
scary prospect because moving from like AP1 to AP2 is very big in terms of a vehicle's defense. It's going to really start crumpling it.
yeah.
And having it on 3 units, yeah, that's
Mm,
actually really good. Devastating strike for 3, 12-inch, 6 hits with decimate. Let's see, decimate ignores
mm.
cover and against units where most models have defense 2. This unit gets +2 AP. I think coordinate
Defense
aggression
2
is
or
just
3.
better.
Yeah,
I mean, it's an attack, so that's nice. You can just
it's
bomb
better.
people.
I can't imagine you being in a place in the game where you use both, because you probably won't have the opportunity to with how the caster points will work out.
I guess
That
it's
being said,
situational.
yeah, um,
There won't always be
it's
3 enemy units within 18. You might want to really remove a unit, so you just smash them with this.
yeah, or there's not enough enemy units. There's plenty of reasons why you'd use it, but definitely pulling off a coordinated aggression would be a much bigger priority.
But I think
So I
that's
think
yeah, go ahead.
the turn 1 and 2 with this caster is Aura of Peace, then coordinated aggression.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
that's a scary 1-2 punch, only on a 4-up.
And it's interesting, like you said, this is so the majority of armies have lost their like DACA spellcasting. They don't have the kind of output like high elves and HDF and stuff that could really pump out some
They
damage
used to have,
sometimes.
yeah,
Don't have that anymore. The Dao have kind of picked it up a little bit. There's some damage here that you can use.
some spooky stuff.
All right, so he's got the same relentless again, and he's got the range slayer aura, and he might even be better to do it because you want to slam him in those security grunts or something, and then pump out very high AP damage into units that don't want to take high AP damage, which is very nice.
Yeah,
How do you
yeah,
foresee running this guy?
yeah. Like the hero, um, like the the caster hero, solo caster hero. Option 1, option 2, potentially just the targeting visor boost in a squad of shotgun grunts. But like you said, with Ranged Slayer, it's a real trade off. The one downside of Ranged Slayer is that because it's tough 3 and higher that it applies to, um, in the event where you're jumping out and just mulch an infantry squad, I mean, you probably do a pretty good job of that with the shotguns as is. But you're paying that 50 extra points and then not using it is going to be a bit of a,
There'll be
you
moments where
know,
you're going into like a Space Marine squad or something and you don't get value out of it. But
which is
yeah,
one downside is that you're paying for it, so you've kind of got to use it. So I think in those cases, that Relentless might be a better choice, or the Target Visor Boost Aura for the utility. I'm not really sure how I'll use it. Honestly, yeah,
a
the Fortified
value
Auras,
fortified with just an extra shotgun in the squad is pretty good
it
too
just
for
seems
55
easy.
points.
It seems never bad as well, Fortified.
That's always there
Just,
for you.
yeah.
All right, yeah. No,
At the very least, they'll all be shielded every time.
now, what do you
Um,
think about the drone upgrades? Because you have to pick one.
yeah, so I've always gone gun drone as the default. Um, Spotter drone now being cheaper, getting that precision spotter in. I definitely think having, one or two drones in each squad just so that during their activation they can buff their own shooting with that +1 to hit potentially.
Mm,
That's always been the way to play drones. Dedicated spotter squads, spotter drone squads, I don't really find to be good because that
they're
unit gets
such a
picked up by
target.
anyone paying attention.
Yeah, they're such a
Yeah,
target. They have to go.
yeah, and I mean, a squad that you want to activate first, you might go. It doesn't really need the spotter. It can ping something else on the other side of the map. Just shoot off in another direction. So I think ideally, I want to spot a drone in each squad. It's probably going on the leader, um, just because he'll be the last one to pick up. And
He's less vulnerable to
yeah,
snipes too.
with the
Um,
3 wounds.
all right. Yeah, so I
Yeah,
think both leaders pretty freaking good in Dao at the moment.
I'm excited to use them.
So let's talk about the new squad, Security Grunts. They are new to 3.5. What do we think? Oh, what's the
Yeah,
difference? They are base 3 up
great
defense
question.
with their upgrade. And they're the shotgun
Yeah.
boys now.
Well, they're not base. You've taken the upgrade, but yeah.
Yeah. This is base. You have to click this button.
Oh yeah, it's compulsory. Yeah, look, I've not really understood why they've separated out the grunts. Before it was just grunts and the pulse rifle and pulse shotgun options were just on both. I haven't actually been able to work out much of a difference.
Now you get the
I
chance to
think
take
there's
three
one.
times or twice as many.
Yeah, that's true. Gunline span seems like it's back, which doesn't provide me with too much joy personally, but it being a good option and a well loved option in the community means, yeah, lots of infantry could be lots of good.
How do you run them?
I like him. Traditionally, double squad, all pulse shotguns. If I'm feeling bougie, I'll throw in 2 flamers, um, just for the extra hits and the reliable. Um, and then obviously gun drones if I have spare drones. Um, Otherwise, maybe one shield drone on one of the pairs, just to give the squad stealth. Less likely with shotguns if they're in a transport.
What do you
Then I
think
just
about
stick with
the melee shrouding aura? Negative 3-inch
uh,
charges for enemies.
yes, really good, incredible, amazing. Not on shotgun grunts.
Okay. So you value the stealth over
I
that
can
just to
see
keep
what
them
you're
alive.
I can see what you're thinking, right? 12-inch range. If they're at that range, they're within charge. They don't have the JSJ. That neg 3 charge distance means that the enemy can't charge them back. Yes, and I do see the value in that. If my shotgun squad hops out of a transport and doesn't blow the guys it's against away, or doesn't blow them enough that their counter charge is ineffective, uh, as far as I'm concerned, those grunts can just die.
And
I've rolled poorly.
there's a lot of like little buffs and things going around now, little auras and things that will just push things over 12 inches. So it's not as reliable as it could be usually.
Mm,
Um,
mm.
but yeah, this is I think this is quite powerful. But yeah, you got to just know what your opponent is, I guess. Do they have something that
Yeah,
can negate it? Um,
I definitely use them on the spotters, and I would still recommend them on spotters. Um, but just on the shotgun grunts specifically, I wouldn't bother. The other loadout change I usually do is I almost always give double sergeants. That's the pistol and sword, and then upgrade it to the plasma gauntlets.
so you run the
Um,
rending swords. Now you do lose a shotgun for that. Are you sanguine?
you lose one shot, you don't lose both shots.
Yeah, you're right. And
Since the pulse
it's a
pistols.
tiny bit of
Yeah.
rending melee, so you've got those 4 rending attacks to swing back into something that's
Oh no,
decided to.
not the. I'm going the plasma gauntlets, not the
Oh,
rending.
you're AP4. Okay.
Mm, mm.
Right.
And if you're playing Dao, basically anyone who's versing you in that short range shooting theater, you're probably going to outshoot them. So their best bet is to charge you. So having them wipe out 8 out of 10 grunts, not unheard of. Maybe now unheard of with the shielded. But having those clutch power fists at the end, the plasma gauntlets, and just actually punching some of them to death is just too funny to see the expression on their face when your Tao or Dao actually kill stuff in melee.
And with the AP4, you can be thinking about things like if you're in range of a tank that's below half, you can just plink through one of these AP4 hits, and then it's making a morale save to not die.
100%. Yeah, triggering morale checks on vehicles, another sort of good use for those sergeant weapons. But you and I have talked about this before. It's sergeant weapons are just a really nice thing to have in squads. Um, really highly recommended because of the way sort of you take out wounds in OPR.
You can just force them that they have to pay some kind of tax for having gone into your unit.
Mm.
Yeah, so security grunts, I think they're going to have a real nice place in the army. It's some tanky close range.
Mm.
I think it's going to be pretty good, especially with some of the hero buffs. So let's go to the old tactical grunts.
Yeah, so these are the ones I'm more excited about, honestly,
Really?
because because all my models that I play with have pulse rifles.
Yeah.
The actual models that I use. There's a couple with the shotguns or the breacher variants in there, but majority of them pulse rifles. I've always loved the big long guns on the tower. I think it's the most beautiful way to run the units. Mechanically, I like the range. I like the shooting, and I like that now with targeting visor, these will hit.
They hit on threes, and they're pretty much
Pretty
always going to hit on
regularly.
threes.
Yeah, yeah.
Potentially
Um,
twos with drones and things. The
yeah,
precision spotter can keep up with them now with 36-inch. It's nice.
yeah. One downside that I'm now noticing, no fortified. They
No,
can't get it
they
on
don't do it.
so I guess that's the distinction there.
What do you think
Um,
about their unique smart turrets, their support turrets with the missile pods and the smart missiles?
um, I was not sold on them for the longest time. I thought this is a lot of points for a 4-up to hit gun that's, because it was about the same price before, maybe a little cheaper, a little bit more expensive. I can't remember exactly. I remember the fusion carbon was surprisingly expensive. The turrets here, though, with the 3-up to hit, all of a sudden come quite good. If I'm going to be shooting 30 inches across the board with a rifle, those missile pod support turrets, the ones you're looking at there, decimate
20 points
unstoppable.
is not much points for these kind of
It's
rules.
not much points. Yeah.
And it's a
That
separate shot that can just fling out into something and no cover, perhaps AP2, no regen.
Yeah. And so I've got maybe, let's say I take 2 5-man squads of tactical grunts, throw in support turrets. That's 4 shots hitting on threes. No negative modifiers to hit thanks to unstoppable. No range penalty. They'll um, hit flyers at AP2
Yep,
minimum.
yep.
Assuming you don't have any other marks.
And they can actually hit flyers at the back of the table because they don't take the
Hmm.
negative 12 inches.
Exactly. And so that, and ignoring stealth, they're just when we talked about yours before, the entrenched rules are scary. The artillery rules
You can
very
stack a lot
scary.
of negative to hits now. So this, as I was saying before, sometimes the unstoppable just cutting all through that is actually pretty nice.
Yeah. Wheat from chaff. I think missile pods are going to make a huge comeback in Dow lists, and yeah, that support turret 20 points. I think 2 squads of these guys, 5-man with the support turrets, just sitting on objectives or plinking away, maybe throwing some mark lights out. They're going to be essential.
What do you think about the more expensive 50-point smart missiles?
Yeah, look, it's kind of just my mortar equivalent, right? It's the long range indirect fire, um, but without the blast. And I guess it's got AP1 instead of your normal mortars, so there is that. Um, yeah, look, we've talked about incidental split fire before. Having a couple of weapons that can just pick off the last 1 or 2 members of a squad or trigger a morale check is quite good in this game. I don't think it's as good on Dao with
Yeah,
this weapon. Um,
it's pretty pricey
most,
too. This is going to up
mm,
their cost a lot.
yeah, mostly because of the transports and the
Mm.
tanks, which have good incidental fire for taking out those little things.
And
So
it's
yeah,
not doing something you can't really do anyway. You can get some good indirect in places, and I think this decimated unstoppable actually provides like a unique thing that you
definitely,
might need. What do you
definitely.
think between the pulse rifles and the pulse carbines, the two attack AP1 within 18 inches?
I mean, more shots is more better.
18-inch
That
attack 2 AP1, that's a nice profile.
it is. But it's changing this unit to fulfill a role that I wouldn't take this unit for. If I wanted 18-inch two-shot guns, I would prefer to go with the spotters
Mm.
for that scout, get them into better positions earlier. In this case, they're kind of like further range security grunts, and I'd rather just have the security grunts for cheaper,
Yeah.
um, and
Do
not bother
you,
with that extra 6 inches.
do you consider sergeants in these?
Uh, I think this less so sergeants. They'd be in there if I had extra points.
The pistols
Definitely
start to
do
hurt.
drone still.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do. When you're relying on low shots but good chance to hit, that precision spotter I think is essential in this squad. Um, Maybe a shield drone if I've got a lot of spotting anyway, but not really going to use the gun drone.
All right. They look. I think they've been improved as well, even though they've been split. I actually think they're
Oh yeah,
quite good. So Spotter Squad, these
yeah.
guys. All right. What's your opinion on them? These are the Pathfinder
I
equivalents.
I love. Yeah, you're the one who actually convinced me on Scout. I I like Scout, but I like the ambush. I've always liked deep striking, sort of dropping in crisis suits or battle suits or whatever. Um, but seeing coming to a game, deploying my army, and then you go, "Oh, I'm done," and then you deploy, 10 things after that in Scout right up the front. Really convinced me to try it out, and so scouting spotters up is definitely something that I'm tried and I'm going to continue doing. I've tried the sort of long range spotting laser spotter squads. Even now, with it being cheaper, it's just not the way to get those precision spotter hits for the plus ones. Uh, yeah, I'm not going to sit them back and do that. What I will do is scout them up and potentially take some of those sniper rifles.
Yep. 10 points to upgrade a sniper rifle is not much. You're
Oh yeah.
losing the pulse carbine, but 10 points, that's pretty good. And snipers, yeah, they depend on who you're shooting into, but they can be super valuable in certain
Um,
things. Especially now, like
and
you said, you're going to be
yeah,
pinging off, specific models, getting rid of the banner guys, getting rid of the medics. That's going to really hurt.
auras are huge, banners are huge, medics are huge. They only got stronger this edition. I mean, just look at even on our side, on my side here, that any lasers or drones are attached to a model, so you can snipe those out too. So there's a lot of points value you can get from being able to pick which model dies. So and it's only gotten better this edition. So I think snipers are going to make a big comeback.
Do you rate any of the iron rifles or rail rifles for the blast or deadly?
No,
Yeah. The AP2 Deadly 3 is, I hate AP2 Deadly
it's
3.
so
But I
sad.
mean, you're probably the one who's got the most ability to benefit from it with all the bonus AP you can give yourself. But
This
yeah.
is true. I hadn't really thought about it in the context of the new mark system. But to be honest with you, if I want to blow up tanks, I'm too much of a sucker for those fusion blasters or the big railgun and cannon.
Yeah.
I don't. This does fill a niche in armies, and for other people, I think it will be. It could be a fun tool. It could be a good tool, but I think it requires too much setup and just off its base, shooting a vehicle and then they get a 4-up save never feels good.
It's also 30-inch range, and I feel like this squad kind of wants to be in the midfield to start using these
Mm,
marks and things. So,
mm.
and it's scout, and you're
That's
paying for
the,
those 30-inch range that you're just not going to use.
that's the other point of running these spotter squads up the middle field. You want this is maybe where you want your marks. The next unit I think is an even better place to put the marks, but definitely something to consider is that
So would
weak
you
spot.
would you just slam piercing shooting mark onto one of these squads? 5 points.
This one's a tough call because that melee shrouding aura is actually pretty good on these scouts because your opponent's probably scouting too, or at least in my meta. That extra movement distance is excellent in this case. You're better at holding the board till your big guys arrive from your deployment. The stealth also essential for scout survival. Um,
You can make a little
Piercing
bit of
shooting
a
obviously goes better into the game. Yes, so increased shooting range aura, the accelerated drone.
so plus this
That's
inch for the
always
whole
been a
squad.
fun take. Yeah, this taking that sort of puts them in that same Battle Brothers AP1 24-inch gun firing
But
range. That's what most
2
people's rifles are,
shots.
24-inch. But yours is 2 shots. It's fun. It's fun trading shots with infantry at the same range as them, but just having double the shots. It's a different way to build them. It's not a way I build them very often, because you don't really feel like moving closer then, and it's an objectives game. You've got to take the midfield, but it can be quite fun.
What do you reckon about ambush beacon?
No,
Yeah, it's very hard to use because you'd have to be deploying within 6 inches of an enemy, and then like they're probably going to charge you or do something horrible back. It seems weird. Maybe a different army
look,
would
I
like this.
mean, it's well, there is one particular use, which is that with the new changes to how the guard dogs work,
Mm,
you're more likely to zone any ambushes I try to deploy out. So that ambush beacon obviously trumps the guard dog since
yep,
it ignores distance restrictions, meaning that I might actually be able to drop an ambusher within range to shoot with that
to
ambusher
melt or
using this
something.
ability. Yeah, where otherwise you could screen. So there, it may turn out to be quite a good niche. I'm yet to. I'll have to wait and see.
Spotter squad's very good. They, if you're versing Dao, kill these guys first. 100%. Do anything you can to get rid of them. It'll make your whole life easier. All right, stealth suits. Have they changed much?
They
They
have.
how have they
They have
changed?
the piercing shooting mark. That's a
Ah,
huge change.
yes, right.
Mm.
And these guys are
Mhm.
some of the best to do it because they're reasonably tough.
Oh yeah. I think it might be controversial for me to say that in OPR I've always liked the stealth suits better than the battle suits.
Mm.
Um, like base loadout, 4 rending shots per model, stealth, ambush if you need it. Don't have to. Just walk them up the board, firing those carbines. It's a lot of bullet output. It's just a lot of rending shots, and rending's great. It deals with regen. It can be AP4, and those fusion carbines, 18-inch fusion guns.
18 inches is a good
Should
range for AP4 Deadly
Oh
3.
yeah. 2 squads just bare of these with the fusion carbines. What's that? 225 now. Um,
Yep.
yep.
So 450
Uh,
for a 6-man.
I mean that's a big speed bump for any enemy tanks, and it only got better with targeting visor. Um, Now on average you're hitting from that 6-man squad you're hitting 4 before you hit 3. That's a real good break even because you hit 4 on your average tank, like
Average
tough 12
transport's
tank.
super dead. Main battle
Oh
tank
yeah,
in huge trouble.
nine is like you're going to do more than 9 damage on average. Not quite 12, but you can get pretty close to it. 12 isn't like unheard of with that. So 450 points for blowing up a tank with no assistance. It's pretty nice. Halve that squad, and it'll blow up a transport with no assistance. In a lot of cases, anyway. So it's a really scary speed bump that your opponent sort of they they don't want to dedicate shooting to because that stealth it just feels bad to shoot at things with stealth.
The
Um,
piercing shooting mark as well is aligned
that
perfectly
too.
with them because it's 18 inches for the AP1 and all their weapons are 18 inches. So they just love shooting the rapid
Yeah,
carbines and they don't even have to buff anyone else. They can just use it for their own shooting. Just
they
push some more
can.
shots through.
I don't know that I would. At at 55 points for the squad, I want to get as much use out of the weak spot locator as I can. And I mean, yeah, 12 shots is good, but 22 is better.
Would you pick flying for them?
Yeah, so they don't have Strider. So
They
15
just have
points
ambush
is pretty
stealth.
cheap. Yeah. I mean, I wish I'd see more use out of flying for mobility, but it's mostly for the Strider equivalent ability that makes it good. So yes, not every time. That would be sort of when I'm in that last couple of 100 points, where I'm just putting upgrades on stuff. I'd probably pop them on then. Otherwise, yeah, keep it cheap.
How would you run
Ish.
them? 3-man, 6-man?
Probably 3-man.
3-man with the piercing shooting mark.
Why? Yeah, you want your opponent to sort of under apply shooting at them. That's not going to do that well because of the stealth. Whereas if you've got a 6-man, even with stealth, your opponent's looking at that and going, "Well, I've got a dedicated ton of guns to it." You sort of increase their threat without increasing their survivability in proportion.
There's nothing
I'd
worse
rather
than doing
have,
like 5 wounds to a tough 3-man squad and they just don't have to make a morale and they just keep shooting you with 2 guns.
yep, yep. Um, Yeah, I'd rather have 2 squads of 3 than 1 squad of 6, but obviously activation's something to factor in. You can do the 6-man with melters if you want. I would never do it with the burst carbines. If I want that volume of sort of anti-infantry fire, I'd go for the grunts or go for the drones. Are there drones still in? Yeah, they are. Yeah, so that's what I'd go for if I wanted
They're
to.
even better now. God.
Yep.
All right, so stealth
Maybe
suits
I'll start taking them.
pretty good. They can do your anti-infantry and anti-tank work. Battle suits. How do you like them?
Huh.
I've noticed you can make like a crazy plasma
All
shooting.
plasma,
Just
yeah.
like just all plasma all the time. 9 plasma hitting on 3s, or let's go 18 plasma hitting on 3s.
It's a bit pricey though.
It's a bit pricey, but that's a lot of plasma. Um, that's a lot of plasma.
Once you get out to that 660 point margin, you may as well just do the AP buffing on the shotgun grunts to get them up to that. If you want that much plasma equivalent, I don't feel that's. I think that's a bit too priced. I think before suit plasma, the one shot ones were cheaper than that. Suit missiles definitely a consideration now. So they've got 3 suit bursts each.
Yep.
You've got this option. That first one you're looking at replaces any suit burst.
Yep.
The next one replaces one, and
so you can have 3, one of these, and then 3 of these.
Yeah, you can have 3 of these, which replaces 2 guns on each guy.
Yeah.
Which is also where your melee weapon is. So the worthwhile consideration here is, what do I want this unit to do? What can it do? It doesn't start with ambush anymore. You don't have to pay for that if you're not going to use it.
Which is nice.
Which is very nice, yes. It's always good to have the option. You're probably building this unit around what you do that 2x suit burst replacement with. Now, in terms of options, if you want to drop them in and pick up some squads, your 2 real options there are the suit fuses or the suit flamers.
Yep.
Is the way I see it.
And then you just double up whatever on the extra one on top.
Yep, exactly. And then you'll have 2 extra weapons, which are still suit bursts. It's probably worth replacing them to the missiles, just for those extra shots to ping off and hit something else. Basically, in any case, I'd throw on suit missiles at the end on whatever suit bursts were left. You can run plasma sword guys with the energy shields.
Yeah, this is actually a fairly tanky melee unit. Surprisingly so. They're not high output. They're not going to chop up most things, but they do their job in terms of like checking other units that are trying to push into you for free. Like the best way to use this, in my opinion, is if it charges something else of yours, like whatever their melee thing is, you go into it after they're fatigued and then make them fight at a huge disadvantage.
Yes. I think now in with these changes to this army, I would never take these guys with the swords.
Really?
And that comes down to it comes down to one rule. Targeting visor.
Right, because you're not getting the value in melee. It's that much of
Yeah.
a anti combo for you
One to
that you
hit.
just can't deal.
3 up versus 4 up. Why do I want 4 up with with not many attacks? 2 attacks per sword. I think they get what, 2 bash each.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's going to compete with like light melee. It's not going to compete with anything that's trying to kill them.
No.
Like you said, its only real use in melee is completing kills, and just losing out on that target visor focus because it takes you 2 suit bursts, which is the replacement where you really want to pick their role for sure. So honestly, never going to take it. I think
Interesting.
the important thing to remember about these guys, though, is that these are what you're going to use to escort that battlesuit elite. These are the things that are going to get that buff from the battlesuit elite. So you could focus around that range slayer option, which is sort of points against the suit plasma there. You're paying extra for AP4 when the things you want to use that against, you're probably getting range slayer on. Relentless, you probably want to look at the blast from the suit flamers because blast is multiplicative with extra hits from relentless.
Yeah.
Always very nice. I mean, 3 up to hit with those suit fuses, and you can have 4 in this squad. It's pretty good. I'd probably take that with a relentless battlesuit commander.
Throw in some
Even then,
incidental
I
plasma.
think even then I still want. Yeah.
Or you want missiles.
It's hard to justify 15 points per plasma shot.
I think this is a great way to get your fusion. I mean, you can double up the squad, and then you've got what, 8 fusion plus whatever the battlesuits bringing in the commander, and that's good night to whatever you're dropping on.
My real struggle with this unit is that I just feel like the stealth suits do the fuses better because they get that 18-inch melter versus this 12. But yeah, I mean, it's a bit of a confused unit for me. I don't know what role I want them to fulfill, and I'm looking forward to how they play in concert with the battlesuit commander, as well as sort of having them be a source of those suit missiles. I think having lots of little sources of suit missiles around your list for that decimate unstoppable, I think that's going to be a key part of the Dao strategy moving ahead.
What about just 18 suit missiles?
How many points does this come out to? 255?
480 for 18.
I mean, it doesn't feel like enough shots or high enough.
It's AP2 against vehicles and such, and no regen, no negative modifiers, 30 inches.
Is decimate against tough or high armor save?
Defensive, yeah.
No, it's against high armor save. Okay, I think something I said earlier about missiles was moot. Yeah, it's a great rule. How this reads to me as well is your opponent's maximum save is a 4 up.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Like yeah,
and no regen.
No regen. I don't know if I'd go the full squad. I'll have to try it once and see. I might be wrong about this, but it doesn't quite feel right. Like, because that could be, there could be 4 flamers in there. Just the sheer volume of hits that's going to come out with by comparison.
I mean, flamers are, but again, doesn't flamer trigger your targeting visor problem? Because you're not getting value out of targeting visor with flamers with a quality 2.
That's a good point. Good point. I hadn't considered that. Maybe the other blast options might actually be a viable option
Yeah,
now.
just to get a little bit of extra range, and you're hitting on threes
Iron.
anyway. Suit ions, I guess. Get AP1.
Yeah.
You could easily get that to AP2.
Oh, actually, there's a tech that I hadn't considered. Suit ions, and then you've got range slayer on that. That's going to start to get scary against a whole slew of units
That a tough 3.
like other battlefields. Yeah.
True.
Yeah. That's if you go range slayer.
My ogre robots just got worse. Everyone.
Yeah.
Stop nerving them.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah. Battles. Yeah, I agree. They're you have to make a real choice with this unit, but I think any way you want to go, you can make it do something extremely well. It's interesting though with the ambush, because giving up 1 turn to ambush, I'm not sure is necessary with some of these weapons. You really only want it with what? The fusion and the flamers? Would you ambush any of the others?
Not really.
Yeah.
I mean, there's the benefit of them being a reactive force and being able to deploy them where your line's sort of weakest. But yeah, not really. That's why I appreciate it being taken off and made an option.
I think you can make some really nasty stuff, some 6-man battle suits with the battlesuit elite coming down or just deploying somewhere, and there's just lots of fire coming out.
Yeah, I think it's going to depend how you build the elite, but I'd pretty much always take these with an elite, making it a Death Star unit.
All right, let's go on to gun drones. Now these have got, so they've got the twin pulse guns, 18-inch attack 2, no AP on them, but rending. Now they've lost their morale thing. They used to have some kind of morale thing, I believe.
Yep.
Robot or something.
They had the robot rule, yeah.
So that's gone. So they got cheaper, but they kept their strider. They picked up targeting visor, and they've got regen as an option for 10 points, which is that's great. 10-point regen. They got ignores cover as an option for 5 points, and they've got shred when shooting for 30 points. Shred is becoming one of my favorite rules.
Oh yeah.
Shred
favorite.
Yeah.
You've cried to me more about this rule than any other.
Yeah, so it feels really, really bad to have someone shoot you with shred, because some of your models you've had shred on blast and things. So you're rolling your own models, and then you roll like 3 1s in your defense, and then you have to pick up 3 models extra because of something you did. It's like it's legit psychological damage.
Rolling 1s feels bad. Yeah.
And now it feels extra bad, and you have to pick up your own stuff.
Yeah.
But mechanically, it's also double damage against defense 2. And it's also got rending on top. So these things are actually not terrible into like high defense stuff as well now.
Yeah.
They're so good. Gun drones are so good.
Yeah, I know. They're so good. With the loss of the robot rule, I think is a big nerf to the unit. In that sense that they were sort of the must take realistically if you were trying to be competitive for infantry, because they were basically immune to morale. They've got that 2 shots each at 18-inch. They've got the same good shot of the grunts. They were just a better grunt. But then you'd have to show up to the battlefield with just drones, and that didn't really, for me, it didn't really feel nice.
It's not cool.
Looking at them now, yeah, it's not cool. It's not cool. And that's what we're here for, the cool options. Looking at them now, even with that nerf, they still get the target visor. They still have strider. They've got that good shot. They can take those shock rounds. They've got regen. You don't get regen in Dao. This is your only source of regen on like your infantry. And it's so cheap. And you almost definitely want to take it, right? Because you've got defense 4 up and you've got quality 5 up.
How can you not?
Low morale. It's compulsory, I think.
Yeah.
You could run this. This is the only other unit I'd consider running with a battlesuit elite.
Oh. Okay. Interesting.
Running full 10-man and taking advantage of one of his buffs. I mean, pick one. Relentless, incredible on 10 gun drones. big game hunter. I mean, you've got the extra wounds on ones anyway. Why not?
Yeah, just more.
You're, yeah,
I think
more.
relentless is
It's more.
probably the value because then you're
It's the
generating more
go-to.
hits, which will roll more shred. So it's just
Don't
more
forget
just
you can give
piling on
them
top.
hit and run too.
Yeah, you can give them hit and run. 18
Um,
inches is a good range.
but yeah, the relentless. I'd run 10 of these relentless. Give them shred. Give them regen.
He helps their
Well,
quality a little bit for morale purposes. Um,
yeah. Oh, bigly. Well, he's a 4-up. It's a
yeah,
big step.
gun drones pretty good unit. The loss of
Mm.
morale, the robot rule is huge though. So now they actually have to make
No longer a
morales.
mistake.
Yeah, it's not a mistake, but this is good.
Mm.
This is extremely good damage output with Strider that you can't go past it. All right, sniper drones. Now I've never seen you run sniper drones.
And you know what? You never will.
Oh dear.
Um, Look, they have a 3-up to hit. Fine. I'm so grateful. Anyway, you'd take the sniper upgrade if you're going to take them anyway. I guess you could use this as a cheap activation, 70 points to do nothing. I'd rather just have a caster that activates and does something, but
Yeah, when I first looked at it, I thought, oh, this is like a chaff activation because it's 70 points, like
no.
my 75 point recruits. But then I thought, wait, this is 3 bodies as opposed to 10. That's a big difference. And they're only defense 4 as opposed to defense 5. So it's not hard to do 2 wounds and they have to make a quality 5 morale.
If you want snipers, take spotters and put the snipers in the spotters.
Yeah, because then at least they have something to defend the actual sniper from wounds.
I feel this way about a lot of the sniper units in the game, but at least some of the other sniper units have rules for positioning or have stealth or something like that. This just has
Again,
none of that.
it's a nombo with targeting visor as well. Because you got
Yep.
reliable into targeting visor, you're hitting on 1+ to hit. That doesn't mean anything. It's still 2+.
Yeah, and taking what is essentially I guess, a slightly cheaper grunt unit with the pulse rifles, just as is. So you get Strider, I guess. It just, what's the point?
Yeah, this should just be gun drones in my opinion. Sad.
Mm.
And yeah, it's kind of it doesn't make sense to have these. I guess because there's sniper drone models, so it makes sense. But
Mm.
if you wanted snipers, you would just take the spotter squad. Um, yeah, they don't really have a role. That's all right.
I'm sure they could figure something else. They could do something fun with sniper drones, I'm sure.
So hover transport.
Mm,
Any changes? So
my
it's got the piercing
beloved.
mark.
Oh yeah.
It's got extra. Has it always had these big guns?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
But look, you're taking a transport to deliver a squad into position. Is my opinion about the transports.
Buying
The
indirect on
real,
something that's moving doesn't feel great either.
yeah, doesn't feel great. That's your only source of blast on it too. It's indirect. Your homing missiles are indirect too. You can if you got the extra points. Indirect, not as bad now with targeting visor in there as well. That being said, oh, and how cheap the precision the drones are. That being said, I don't know why you'd bother any weapons on this. To be honest, it's got 6 shots, AP1 running at 18 inch. That's that incidental fire we talked about earlier. That'll pick off, the last 2 men of a squad that you've mostly killed that
This
stuck
is
around
fine
with good
shooting.
morale.
That's fine.
It's fine.
Doesn't need
It's
much more.
not 2 heavy flamers in the same price band.
No.
It's definitely not that. So this unit isn't as threatening as say the Imperial tanks, the HDF
APC.
tanks. But it has its own benefits built in. I mean, it's cheaper with Strider built in. It's got targeting visor, which
It's got
again not
piercing
really
shooting
great.
mark.
Yeah, the piercing shooting mark
Because
is
this
a
thing
good
will
thing.
be within 18 inches of lots of things.
One problem though, you're paying 55 points, which is about 25% of the cost of the model, a bit more, so that you can increase the cost of your transport, which its only job is to get you in across the board. You move it across the board, turn 1, first activation. There you go, getting it across as fast as possible. Your opponent's going to try and pop it while your troops are still inside. If they succeed, that's a big hit to you. That squad inside takes dangerous terrain tests, and they get stunned when they hop out. Really big hit to you if they block transport. So they're going to try to. It's going to feel even worse if you spent 55 extra points getting that mark on them. So it's a lose harder scenario. That being said, you really don't want that to happen. So you move your hover transport up as fast as possible and hopefully minimize its ability to be killed in a single turn. Good positioning, your opponent just not having that sort of firepower available. In that situation, that mark is incredible because it becomes a win harder. It becomes, I've crossed the board and I've made the thing that my shotguns are going to pop out and shoot so much weaker to their fire.
Yeah.
So
that's my thought about this is so if I see a transport, I'm going to kill it. It doesn't matter how much it costs. I'm going to get rid of it just for the value of auto shaking whatever's inside it. But what this looks at, what I look at when I see this is this allows you to do something that's going to help your troops even with a run. So even if you're not you can't shoot your guns, but this piercing shooting mark can still go off with a double movement. So you can move your 16 inches, put this on something within 18, and then your troops jump out and benefit from it immediately. So it's better than an extra gun.
The other side to it too. The good thing about the weak spot locator is if your opponents don't kill you, well, first of all, yeah, you're right. You get piercing shot mark off first round anyway, because you move up and then mark something. Then they try and blow up your tank. So you have that benefit. It's probably going to happen at least once. On top of that, in the event that your tank survives and it's sort of running a sort of support role, impacting things that are low on wounds to try and force morale or just standing on objectives, now it's actually doing something super valuable by providing that buff every turn while it floats around, which means that it draws aggro. Your opponent sees that buff goes off, gets hit by that buff, and goes, I kind of want to kill the transport.
Yeah.
Because that buff is really frustrating me. And that's good. Anytime you get your opponent to be indecisive about what to shoot at is a big step up.
After it's done its job, it's still doing more jobs. Yeah, I think this is probably a good thing to upgrade. But like you said, it is an expensive upgrade. This is 55 points. It's no joke. But yeah, I think it's probably worth taking. But hover transport itself, in terms of what it provides in the list, is it a must take?
Yep. Yes. So if you take shotguns, yes, always take this. You can run a list built around scouting spotters instead and then not have this hover transport, but I think you actually really miss out on a good piece on the board. Having a transport on the board that your opponent can't be bothered shooting because there's scarier stuff around, just ramming things, sitting on objectives last minute, is just such a utility benefit. I'm a big fan of transports. To me, must take at least one.
I think this is one of the good ones as well. It's a good price. It's got its strider. It's got its targeting visor. It's got some good troops to bring along with it. Yeah, I think you should. If you're running Dao, run some troops with some nasty short range capability and a hover transport, and I think you'll have a good time. Now, this is a weird one. Hover attack bike. What do you think?
I mean, if you look at all of the gear that it's got and consider that it's not actually gained anything in this new edition other than being more likely to hit, I think this is a never take. This is a dead
I agree.
pick.
I actually agree. I hate. I mean, I don't own this thing, so I don't hate it, but I don't, it doesn't look very good.
I own one of the models. Being a piranha, I do own one because I like the look of the little skimmer and having escort looks cool.
Paying 185 points for a single fusion carbine shot feels so bad. Like that. 185 points and you get one shot. Yeah, it's on a 3-up, but
if you're playing one of those fun games like we are with the campaign, where all of your units have got to have fast or they've got to be in transports, this has a niche. Has a thing that it can fit into. If you're building armies with your opponent and you're like, hey, let's build like fast attacking armies, so everything's got to be like fast or in transports. That's the only situation where I can see this having any use. Outside of that, straight in the bin.
It doesn't even have any weird upgrades that it could have that makes it like have a niche. It has no niche. It just is literally bad in my opinion. Which is sad, but yeah,
Well, it's impact 3. It's more impact than the transport. Oh no, it's transport 3
it
as
could
well.
have been a transport. The
It
transport is
could
the
have been
same.
transport. That's the
This
entire
anytime you take a hover attack bite, you should think I should take a hover transport and something in it. Um,
double the health, even at base.
yeah.
It's just double the health.
All right. Going into hover tank. So this is probably the one that got the biggest glow up in the entire
Mm,
list, in my opinion. Tell
mm.
me about hover tanks.
So even just where we're starting, it starts with a better gun. The
Hmm.
sub rail gun before was one shot blast 6.
Mm-hmm.
So much more niche, so much more unlikely to hit, and hitting on a 4 up, so rough before. Now you're hitting on a 3 up on your tank. Incredible. Uh, really good for a particular weapon that is my favorite and one of the reasons why I even started collecting it. I don't think I'd use the sub railgun ever. I've tried it out. I tried some of the blast options before. Not really what you want the tank for. What you want the tank for is the railgun.
Heavy
In this
railgun.
case, the heavy railgun. So it does. One thing I do really like is it has an intermediate step where you step up to the railgun first, I believe.
Yeah, it's got a 36-inch attack 2 AP4 deadly 3 option for cheap.
Mm-hmm.
Or you could step up to the big boys, which is a 36-inch attack 2 AP4 deadly 6. Wow. Hitting on a 3 up base, and it's only
Look,
470.
yeah. Spoiler ahead to you as somebody who's going to be playing against. You can pretty safely assume you're going to see this in a list.
Yeah, I know.
Um,
This is going to define what I can bring a lot of the time. There's not going to be
this
much
is,
places for Russes if this thing is sitting around.
oh no, this is going to pick an alley and say you put anything with tough 6 or higher in this alley, it dies.
Yeah.
Um, like there'll be spotters and other squads pinging mark lights on things just to let you know what's going to happen in a turn.
And then it's a 2 up
This
to hit,
is
2 attacks, AP4, deadly 6, which is.
yeah. Just pick up that unit for me, please. I think this will be probably my most fun unit. This is where the real +1 from targeting visor just just really made me happy. We got targeting visor, we got a 2-shot railgun. This having consistency has just completely made my day with this edition.
I
This is the
saw this in the
sauce.
beta
I mean,
and I thought this is not going to stay. This is just them testing out, seeing where
mm,
the range is in terms of making OP stuff and see where it sticks. But then it appeared in the end version, and
mm.
wow, I wish I had a gun like this as a profile. That's crazy. Um, but yeah, the Dao players, you should be really happy about
uh
this tank. Hammerheads are back.
yeah, hammerheads are back. Okay, if you're an old Tau player and you remember all the jokes about railguns and the sound of whipping noises in the distance, and then Imperial tanks just start exploding and no one can tell why, um, that's it's back. I mean, this I see this blowing up some tanks every game, as opposed to before where you've got like a 50% chance every turn to half damage a tank.
Yeah, this is.
I'd be hard pressed to see a game where this doesn't, unless it gets taken out early.
Do you
That's the
like
that's the flip side is
any of
uh,
the other options that aren't heavy railgun? I can see you can make some like pretty crazy indirect tanks with like options for all the indirect weapons and things. Look at this. It's got
yeah.
a homing indirect AP2. That's kind of interesting. Some
Yeah,
blasts
the homie
indirect.
indirect AP2 Deadly 6 is kind of a weird source situation. I'd consider it, I'd try it out. It's hard to step away from what I really like, which is the big railgun,
AP4
but
is hard to argue with.
it
It's
is. It is. But you know what else is? So is indirect anti tank. The
yeah.
idea that your opponent can't hide behind obscure is big. Is it as big as AP4, I don't know. It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell at this stage.
The AP2 is not as crippling too with the potential
Uh,
AP buffs you
yep,
can give on
killing
things.
marks and stuff like that. Yep.
Yeah.
And indirect, of course, messing with cover.
Yep.
I believe it still does that. Yeah.
For purposes of line
Side
of
of
sight.
direction. Yeah. So it ignores some cover. So there's also possibly some AP there. But yeah, never feels good to have your opponent saving deadly attacks on a 4-up. So
No. Would you run him cheap? Is there any situation where it's worthwhile running this guy cheap, or just go big, go home?
go big, go home. If you're
Yeah.
taking the tank, you take the tank. I'd always take the stealth upgrade.
Yep.
15 points is nothing compared to his full cost.
His range is so high, he'll always be at the back anyway.
Yeah, if he's not, then hopefully the game's over already, and he's already blown up a tank or two, or screen better. Yeah,
I think you can't go wrong with this. This is a really good, really, really good unit, and it does have the other options. So if your opponent's not bringing, toughness 12 models anymore because you've been picking them up turn 1, then you can start running lots of blasts too. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you can do whatever you want. I wouldn't, but
Good unit. All right, heavy battle suit. So this is the Riptar? No, this is the broadside.
No, broadside, yes.
Broadside.
RIP old broadsides. I think the new model isn't as cool as the old model, but the old model was a nightmare to put on a battlefield because of the
Has this
metal
one been
plastic
upped? It's got the piercing mark, but he's not really one who wants to be close.
No.
The heavy rail rifle is... Has that gone to 2 attacks, or was it always 2 attacks? I think it was always 2 attacks.
It was always 2.
But it's the AP2.
The AP2 was the main reason why I didn't take the heavy rail rifle on this guy. It just didn't feel like enough AP. It'd be a different question of indirect, like we talked about on the hover tank. Yeah, I mean, for this one, I'd go for one of the blast spammers. I think the default is 4 blast as well.
He's 8 attacks with Decimate Unstoppable.
Okay.
So ignores cover, bonus against defense 2/3, and ignores regen.
That's competing with that Crisis Squad doing something similar, but I guess with this one, you're sort of expecting it to just sit there and it's tankier with Def 2 up and Tough 12. This, if I wanted to go with the mass quad missiles, I'd go with this over the Crisis option.
Because you can add in the extra one, so you get an extra 3 shots. So you get 11.
Yeah. It's a lot. It's if you're in a sort of meta where lots of people show up with planes, take this. If you're in a meta where someone shows up with lots of artillery pieces, hypothetically, any
who would do
PGF
that?
players,
No one would do that.
This would cook those lists. This would way above what it cost.
I like that this guy can walk around too. None of this is indirect, so he can walk around just fine. And he's got fear and he's got stomp, so he can walk into the midfield and just take some objectives and stuff while pumping out 30-inch shots.
Yeah. I think the best way to look at his fear and his stomps is that he hits back in melee. Tough 12 2 up, he's not going to get killed by much in melee. And with fear 2 and being able to hit back, he might just win against things that charge him.
Yeah, he's defense 2. He's defense 2, tough 12. Yeah, he's not a fragile.
But yeah, dude. I mean, I like the base loadout, honestly. The more we look at it now, I'd even consider the piercing mark on him if I'm just going to take this loadout, because I just walk him up, sit on an objective, be hard to remove, be hard to charge, and apply hits where I like, and apply marks too. I think there's some tech there.
I like that they've given him this piercing shooting mark, because he didn't really have a role before. And his rail rifle with his AP2 that you couldn't buff in any way was just it was trash. Now that he can potentially buff this to AP4.
I could see some use there. The quad frad pod, I think, suffers from the same problem that you expect from your mortars, but with one added change for me, with the piercing mark being applied by other units, with the 3-up to hit base, with the prevalence of cheaper +1 to hits from the laser pointers, 4 blast 3 indirect is not nothing anymore.
Mm.
Lobbing these from sort of central dominant position or from holding an objective isn't nothing. And
And it's
being
nice
able to
to have
place it
some
where you want.
indirect,
It
because
is.
people will just mess around with obscuring or impassable terrain to just sort of slink through out of line of sight or just not be hit. And this one will just get them.
Yeah, I mean, you can imagine this into if using the same list, the battle suits with the um, jump, shoot, jump aura, and it's like, well, that's nice. Anyway, here's my quad frag pods.
Yeah.
Here's 4 blast 3.
And even if he moves, it's not awful because he's still got a 4 up to hit, even with the penalty for moving for indirect, as
Yeah,
opposed to a lot of other artillery, which is at a 5, which is just almost unusable at that point.
yeah.
Yeah, okay. I think they've improved him quite a bit because he wasn't very good before, in my opinion, but I think now he's got some roles, which is
I'll
nice.
definitely try him out and see how he goes. I'm not as excited about him as I am about other things, but I definitely want to try out the Decimate Unstoppable loadout.
All right, let's go to the heavy stealth suit. Now, this guy has a unique stealth rule. Yeah, he's got the evasive one, so he can have equivalent of double stealth. Stealth out from 9 inches, -1, and then a base -1 to hit, even in melee. So even when shot and in melee as well. So -2 out from 9 inches, that's good.
He's got artillery, but he doesn't have to sit still.
No, he doesn't, and he's got some pretty good anti-tank options. He's got the equivalent of 3 melters. No, 4 melters because one's deadly 6.
Oh yeah.
That's pretty
I
scary.
I hadn't taken this before, and you pointed out to me, why haven't you considered this? Because I know in the model was the short answer, but that loadout is a lot of explodey tank,
Some
and
damage.
yeah, -2 to be hit.
Oh, he's got the
It's got
piercing
that
shooting mark as well.
got the piercing shooting mark on it. Is that instead of? Is that no?
Instead
It's
of his
upgrade with
evasive. Oh, upgrade with any. Yeah. He
take
can take
both.
all of it.
Yeah, you might want to, but uh, um, getting into position could be difficult.
He can ambush.
He can not having on the board feels like he's too expensive to not have on the board, but I guess any dropping in Death Star unit is going to be in that similar case.
I kind of like
But
him on the board though, like you mentioned, because if I saw this in my brain, I'm thinking I have to kill it before the deadly 12 gets into range. So
yeah,
I might end up putting shots into that -2 to hit. Um,
yeah. It
yeah,
also, if I take it, it also alters the meta around us, right? It means that unstoppable becomes more necessary for my opponents too. Um, like it seems like it's going to be for me. So making it compulsory to have unstoppable so they can plink away at something like this is is valuable. The more your opponents have to spread out the weapons, the better. Um,
these
yeah,
weapon profiles are good too because you've got
take it
deadly
away
6 on one and then the equivalent of deadly 6 on the other. So you can send those into 2 different targets on a 3-up,
yeah.
potentially pop both. Um, that's nice. Yeah, I think this guy's quite good. Heavy stealth
Yeah.
suit.
I'll be trying him. I don't know if I'll buy the model because I think it looks a bit silly, but
Did you want to go into the Titans next or the aircraft?
uh, let's go aircraft. Let's go
Alright,
back to Titans.
Razor Fighter. Um, so you don't get transports, do you? So you guys are just
No,
shooty guys. Okay.
just shoot you guys. Now I was looking at getting a fighter in the last edition. Getting a model for it printed. Because I never liked them back in Warhounds. Um, and they didn't seem like too insane in this, but they did seem surprisingly cheap for what is a unit that just jumps across the battlefield, teleports across it, and is just hard to knock out.
Mm.
Your basic because you're paying for a unit that won't cap objectives ever.
Yep.
So you want it to be annoying enough your opponent wants to shoot at them. 2 attacks, AP2 blast 3s. It's good.
AP2 blast 3 is a good profile. It's nice.
You've got a 4-up, and now with targeting visor, you're looking at a 3-up to hit. Honestly, the consistency of targeting visor across the board, I think, boosts a lot of these units where you're not looking at number of rolls to get hits. You're looking at, lower shot, but higher quality. So 2 attacks, AP2 blast 3, hitting on 3s, quite good. Burst carbine, that to me seems like more of that incidental fire, but in this case, you're stacking it up. You can add on some extra stuff, extra weapons there. No, it has the frag and AT missile, the seeker options, but it doesn't take indirect on them, which is
I
very nice.
just noticed that.
So it's a good place to slot your limited deadly missile for pinging off on something else. I'd pretty much always take it if I took the Razor Fighter. It's got the twin missile pod instead of the burst carbine. I'd probably always take that too for the exact same reason.
There's a lot of I'm noticing a lot of Decimate Unstoppable in the Dao. They've got a
Mm.
lot of these weapons, whereas I don't have a lot of these in HGF. So it's interesting.
So there's always been an emphasis on the variety of missile options and smart missiles and things like that for Tau and by extension Dao, because believe it or not, they're related, hypothetically. In Minecraft, of course. The fact that before this change, they were sort of never really taken because I think they sat at flat AP2 and low shot count. And it just didn't feel good hitting on 4s with half as many shots that just wasn't as good as going whole hog flamer or whole hog melter. Now, you're looking at decent number of shots, good chance to hit with targeting visor, and Decimate Unstoppable getting better and better.
Yeah.
Rules
And there's quite a few things out there now that seems to penalize to hit. Or negates a little bit of AP and things. So I think it might be worth taking, and that's kind of interesting that the Dow get a lot of that. So do you rate the Razor Fighter? It's cheap.
It's fine.
It's fine. It's not showy. I'm not super scared by these weapons, but it also doesn't cost anything either. So
it's a cheap thing that. Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? Right? Unless I want you to be trying to kill the fighter, I want it to be a big distraction, because it means it's doing enough that you focus it. And the Razor Fighter just doesn't quite do it.
we're going to the Sun Bomber, which is cheaper, which is
Oh
interesting.
yeah, I love this.
Yeah, so it's got a unique rule called strafing, which means it doesn't have a range on its weapon. It has to physically go over the model, and then it rolls to hit.
This is a bomb from aircraft change that appears to be across the board on bombers in OPR, and from a holistic, from looking at the whole OPR, the way it plays, I love this for gameplay. Before it used to just be like within 6 inch of it, you can drop the bomb, kind of boring, trying to do bombs that way. The fact that now they have to fly over it, beautiful. It's exactly how you want to have to run it. And when you see a bomber, you want to see it have to strafe over. It adds gameplay. It's aesthetic.
You have to kind of think about this when moving your units. You could probably almost prevent this.
It's a strategic decision now.
Yeah.
Now I'm planning my movements around bombing runs. I mean, what more could you want taking a bomber? And 215 points for this. Let's talk
215
about
points for 3 AP1 blasts is, but even leaving aside the missile pods, is pretty good. This is pretty good. I kind of like this.
I love this. I think this has enough of a threatening profile, and that if your opponent ignores it, then it's a lot of firepower at 215. Throw on the AT missile as well, just because you like how it feels. And it's always good to have that little bit of deadly 3 laying around. I mean, 215, 235 with that upgrade. so cheap and it does so much.
Yeah, I think this is the better. This is the better aircraft.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's no must take, right? Especially with aircraft being harder to hit now. Sorry, easier to hit. They don't have that neg 1 to hit. It's just the range that they have. Even with that, this feels like a good thing to take. I wouldn't take it in every list. I don't think it's a must take by any extension, but I'm gonna be printing the model. I'm gonna be fielding it. I'm gonna be seeing how it goes. I'm excited for it. And yeah, look, you play the game to play the game to have fun, right? That strafing is just such a fun rule.
Yeah, you actually have to think about this, and your opponent has to think about it.
Mm,
They can potentially counterplay it. You can argue
yeah,
over if they went fully over the model. It's great.
yeah, yeah. Oh
It's
yeah,
good.
perfect. Yeah. The flip side of that as well is this loadout, right? This particular loadout, pulse bomb. The only thing about positioning you really need to worry about is whether or not you can drop the pulse bomb. All your other guns are 30 inches,
Hmm. Yeah.
so they can
They're
shoot wherever
irrelevant.
else they want. On top of that, the great thing about strafing, uh, it's an extra split fire. Um, Strafing is during activation, pick one and attack with it as if shooting. It's not a shooting. It's not part of their shooting of the bomber. So you can drop a bomb and then split fire at 2 targets with your other guns, meaning effectively you've got a larger split fire on the Sun Bomber
It's kind of like a
and all
spell.
strafing bombers. Exactly.
Hmm.
Um, and that has great utility. Um, I think this is a really good take. I think it's a really good pick.
Let's have a look at the Titans. So, Tide Titan. This is the sword guy.
Yeah, just click that second sword. Yep, much
Yeah,
better.
5 points for 8 extra AP1 rending attacks. Now we got
Uh,
16 AP1 rending with 6 stomps, AP2, and he's got Fear 3. Tough 18. Only 470 points.
yeah, by the way, he's cheaper. Yeah. Isn't that nice?
This is a great picket unit to just push up and say you have to fight this guy
Yeah.
to get through.
Look, remember when we said Dao shooting, don't do melee, no melee units, basically none you can take. This is the one thing that's like, okay, one melee unit. This
Yeah,
is a scary bastard. I mean, Fear 3, tough 18,
the tough 18
just
is
that
crazy for under 500.
yeah, the sheer volume of attacks too is really good. You definitely want to be dropping with your caster, dropping a fearless on this one turn.
Yep.
Um, it's the one thing that's going to be a worry with the Tide Titan is if they do manage to force a morale check, you've got a high chance of failing. It's 50-50 is never nice. That's really the main thing you'd want to shore up with this. I would never take the guns. Um,
I wish you could take these twin plasma rifles off because he's going to be double
yeah,
moving every turn.
yeah, get rid of them. I don't want them. This is your like counter to the combat walker. You know, this is your opponent shows up with their tough 12, let's say 8, 10, 12 attack AP4 melee combat walker that's just horrifying. This thing won't deal as much damage as that thing, unless you're lucky, but it will survive the
Mm,
fight.
yep.
Tough 18.
Yep.
He can't kill you.
Yeah, and you can't ignore it. This is not something you can ignore just wandering around. Um, yeah, this is. I don't want to say it's a must take, but it's the best melee you're going to get in the list, and you need some. You just need something to keep people off you.
If you go scroll down, is that? Oh, he lost access to regen, did he?
Yeah, no regen,
I
no
mean,
stealth either.
no regen, no stealth. Bit of a shame, but he didn't need them. Before running it and then having regen was just like saying, yeah, good fucking luck, Buster. Ever doing anything to him. Still at tough 18, he's kind of in that niche anyway. This just means he's got a big price decrease as well. He slots into a smaller army now
He can
And
go in
yeah,
2K and fit comfortably, hilariously.
before I think he was 600 and something in 2K, meaning you couldn't take any of the upgrades and still fit him in with Force Org. Now he slots in easy. He's cheap by comparison. You don't use the target visor, boohoo. 16 sword attacks plus 6 stomps. Those 6 stomps at AP2, can't forget them. AP2 stomps, very nice.
And the
Highly
Fear
recommend
3. Even
take this
Fatigued is
unit.
going to be hard to deal with.
Yeah. Triptides are back, baby.
Yeah, I think this guy's really good.
I hated
Would you
Triptides.
ever run shooting? No,
No.
right? It's melee. This is a melee
My
unit.
entire army does shooting. This is the one unit that doesn't.
Yeah,
Why would I give it guns? The guns are too expensive anyway. 90 points. You get
150 points for some blasts. Who cares?
50.
Yeah, run a
Oh,
melee.
great. If you really wanted those blasts, get the hammerhead, get the heavy battle suit.
All right, Surge Titan, tough 24, Fear 4, and he is all guns all the time. He's
Look,
not actually that expensive, weirdly.
Yeah, you can fit him in 2K. You can show up with that in 2K if you want. Your opponent might pack up and leave.
He would never die.
Yeah.
Is there any crazy weapons here?
I don't see it.
He's not actually. He can throw some deadly. Another deadly. That's not that much danger for 780 points. Hammerhead is more scary.
Yep.
I don't know about this. I don't know. What do you think?
Running with the, you're probably better off running with the blasts, right?
Just
Because
blasts?
his
Flamers?
anti-tank profile is nothing. Yeah, that's the thing. Flamers on this thing. I mean, you got to run him up, right? Because he doesn't need range to survive. So he's got to be up the front line tanking. You want your opponent to shoot this guy. He's never going to get through him. Not in a million years, unless you start to get to that 3,000, 4,000 range. Or you're versing Mirror List, and the Dao Union players bought 3 Hammerheads. Then he'll probably peel through it in 2 turns. Yeah, look, it's a makes me sweat looking at how many blasts and attacks and the attack numbers there are
There's a lot of
significant.
that's five blast threes and then 12 extra ranged attacks.
Yeah.
And then he's also got Stomp Fear 4, so he's incredibly hard to crack in melee.
Yeah. I would never take this.
This is an intimidation piece. It's actually not as scary in reality as its points or its toughness, but seeing this on the table and looking at it, I would be terrified.
Yeah, look, if you walk, or I guess, ironically, run this up, not using any of these wonderful weapons, and put it somewhere, your opponent's not removing it.
Yeah. Tough 24 is no joke.
Your opponent's not winning combat against it, even with most dedicated melee units. This is sitting on an objective, presumably, firing a lot of bullets and never getting removed. But at the same time, you can achieve a lot of these effects with something else and not pay out 810 points for it.
A Tide Titan could do that anyway, is the sad bit.
And the Tide Titan is much more efficient with its weapons.
Yeah.
And attacks. And immune to charges, something the rest of your army just isn't.
I mean, this is kind of common. It was the same thing with the Baneblade equivalent in the HDF. The upper tier of like super units, they're just not like completely efficient in terms of what they do, but they're just incredibly tough. All right. So how are you feeling overall about your new Dao upgrades?
Here's the thing. I love it. I love the changes. I love that some of the units that I didn't find uses for, like the old heroes, these new heroes are really nice. The auras means that you can do lots of fun different lists, which is always good. The Hammerhead buff, Hammerhead, my beloved. I love that thing. So, like, I really love all these changes, and it feels really good. The one thing that I am hesitant about now, so early in the edition, is that every single army list, all of the players who play those lists is thinking, "Oh yeah, now I've got source. So I've got to see how this fights in the new power level, which does seem like a higher power level than the older edition. A lot more killy. Things are a lot more tanky if they're supposed to be tanky. I don't know how this measures up in the meta, whether this boost has boosted relative or boosted actual the position of Dao in the rankings. But from purely reading it, purely gameplay, now when I shoot, I'm more likely to hit. So consistency is fun. Missing is not fun. Generally, that's just a sort of gameplay thing. So I'm excited about that, particularly in my low shot. My low shot, high quality units are now all better because of that boost to hit, as well as the aura buffs, making those better as well. The cheapness of the spotters, making me more consistent as well. Um, Rolling dice and getting a value that is a hit or a wound or whatever, that's fun. That's what you want to do.
Picking up
And
your opponent's models is fun.
it is. It is. It's a lot of fun. And this list seems incredibly better at doing it than it was before. But by that same token, after we looked at HDF, I'm also a bit worried that maybe I need to be better at picking up your models because you're not going to pick them up with your morale tests.
It's interesting. So this, it actually, they've gone in a different balanced direction than I thought they would go. Because to me, some of the weaknesses of Dao has always been they don't really have great chaff activations, and they don't have efficient melee. Um, and instead of being like, oh, I guess we'll address some of those concerns, they just skewed it even more. So now they have unbelievably efficient shooting. They're terrifying at shooting. Um, and they still have those weaknesses, which is, I think that's kind of good for the game because it's a very different faction from a lot of the others that are how they play. But there's going to be moments where you just absolutely crumple people. I think with Dao, the amount of shots that are going to go through with all these extra AP buffs and the extra targeting visor bonuses, the cheaper marker lights, it's all going to combo into some really nasty turn one, turn two shooting. I think, which is going to be very interesting to play. I think this might be a bit of a sleeper where it's always Dao Union has always been considered weak, but I think this might have tipped them over into very strong. But I'm not sure. We'll just have to get 5 or 10 reps of games and just see how it goes.
I could definitely see that too with these changes. Plus one to hit. There's so little variance between because there's only a hit and save. So any big change to save or to hit is more significant than a lot of war games that people are used to outside of OPR. So that plus one to hit pretty much across the board um, is gonna be scary to come up against.
All right, guys, that's going to be us for now. What do you reckon? Battle Brothers next?
Yeah, I'll have to take a look. I'm excited to take a look at them. I want to dust off the old Firstborn Marines. So yeah,
All
keen.
right, guys. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.